Shall I start again?
You can.
Right, good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Barnoldswick Town Council's General Purposes Committee. We'll do quick introductions around the room. I'm David Whip, chair of the meeting. Joe?
Yeah, Joe Geller, Clerk's Council.
John Spencer, Councillor.
Chris Church, Councillor.
Emma West, Councillor.
Councillor Tom Whip.
Councillor Angela Moran.
Councillor Colin Heard.
Councillor Rich Strickland.
Thank you very much. Now, that should have been a bit of a sound check because we have had criticism that we don't project enough and people can't hear what we're saying. So I'm just trying to encourage people and train them up to project. We're not just talking to the person next to us. We're talking to all the millions of people on YouTube who will be watching this in 50 years' time. Right, apologies for absence. We have several. Joe?
Marjorie Evans, Gillian Robinson, Jodie Greaves, Dave Greaves.
Thank you very much. Item 2 is open forum. We haven't got any members of the public present. If there are any questions that come up on the live stream, thank you very much for the reminder where it was called. We'll pick them up towards the end of the meeting. Item 3 is declarations of interest. This is where any councillors that have got a prejudicial pecuniary interest in any items need to declare it if they've got to leave the room when we're discussing it. Are there any? No? Okay. Item 4 is the minutes of the last meeting, which councillors have. I don't seem to have them, I'm sorry. Don't know. Right. Are we happy to move those as a correct record? Everybody in agreement? Thank you. You need it, sign it?
No,
No.
they never brought it back in.
Right. Item 5, environmental schemes / town centre planting. We've got a few things to raise on this one. And in no particular order, we've got a hedge at Victory Park, which we agreed to do a couple of years ago. And it fell through in the last planting season for I don't know what. Joe, have we got any?
I've sent off the
report?
prices from the company that Penny will use and they haven't come back to me as yet with any prices. But some indicative prices from Penny as to what they're paying for things.
Okay.
It's expensive. I need to know when.
Yeah, I mean the difficulty now is can we get it in this planting season because effectively we've only got a month.
Finishes end of March.
Yeah. And if it's an early, warm spring, it, effectively it's a lot less. So I'm looking at Tom now because this is his project.
Well, I mean, yeah, if it's not for end of March, it'll have to be October at the soonest.
Well, no, November
Yeah.
earliest. Okay. So, how do we want to leave it? I mean, if the whips, sorry, no pun intended, the little trees, if they are available, by mid-March, do we want to try and plan a planting?
I mean, the standards, I'm not sure if they could go in at any point.
Well, unless they're potted.
Yeah. I've no thoughts on the matter really.
Okay.
We did
Angela?
West Craven High School hedge about early March last year. We get some prices for those if it's helpful just to compare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got the types. I've got an email with all the.
Do you email
Yeah.
it to me? Is there anything I could do to help with pricing?
I've asked for the people who I can't remember what they're called. Who've been before. What's it called? It's
Balusters?
Yeah.
Tom got a spec from the RHS for a really good mix, and then there's some standards in amongst it as hedgerow trees
Yeah.
Rowans, did you have, Tom?
Yeah. So it was Alder Buckthorn, Beech, Hornbeam, Gilder Rose, Spindle. There's a thornless variety of Gilder Rose, very curious, and then 9 Rowan standards, just sort of evenly spaced along the length.
Sounds good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the whole idea is that it'll provide a wildlife corridor from Stock Beck towards the existing hedge around the cricket club, and then I think future plans were to have some more, so that there was a corridor right across the park, because it's a bit of a green desert.
It links it up to the top of the culvert at the far side of the football club, doesn't it? So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. So I'm still looking at the committee to see whether people think, you know, we should try and do it in the next month. There is one further thing which Philtrops are happy to sponsor this to an extent, and in the discussions that I had with the MD at Philtrops, there was a possibility of they'd have a plant shutdown, and the staff would all be put on to planted trees. It's part of their social responsibility commitment. So the only thing I'm thinking now is, you know, going to Paul and saying, oh, we're going to do it in 4 weeks' time,
That'd be short notice.
and also they're obviously mucked up with all the building work, so maybe a discussion with Paul about that. He might just say, sorry, we can't do it now. Am I speaking?
How many trees is it, Tom?
So the trees is 9 Rowans, the standards, and the rest are all just whips.
So I mean, total is it like 1,000? Is it?
I can do, yeah.
Yeah. So how long will it take to do it now?
It's about 100 metres in length. There's 90 of each of the hedge planting whips, and then the 9
There's like
standards.
7 of them, like 7 different types.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types, 90 of each.
450.
Yeah.
I mean, the likelihood is for the standards, we'd lean on Pendle Council to come and dig the pits for the standards. The ground there it's all made, it's an old tip, so I'm not quite sure just how friendly it will be, or whether we'll get loads of people volunteering because they want to find old bottles.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We should confirm what size standard Rowans to get as well.
Okay.
I have no idea
Oh,
what would be
never
best.
mind. I've just sent them your list.
Right, well,
The
we'll see.
idea with standards was, if you put in, whips or smaller, obviously they'll just get cut back with the hedge being cut, and they never grow up. So
yeah, but they get protection because they've got posts, so that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah.
just need to
Okay. So in terms of action, then Angela's going to get the spec.
Just benchmarking a bit
yeah.
else.
Yeah.
We ask Philtrops if they're still interested in getting hands-on with it, and we see if it's feasible at this stage of the season to get the spec that we want. When you get towards the end of the season, not everything's available, or the best stuff's already gone. So, it's a bit like that, really. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, are we content with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
The other issues that we've got on here, some time ago, the town council had an approach from Hope Tech, who offered to support the town council in creating a pump track, and at the time there were a couple of planning permissions in the offing, and we said, well, we wouldn't like to discuss them at the offer of a pump track at the same time as they were putting in for planning for different things. So we just parked that. Now since then, the track that Hope had at the end of their factory, they've actually had to do away with it, and so where kids used to go there and go around the pump track, we can't do that anymore. So there is a possibility that Hope may support the town council in creating a pump track somewhere else in the town, and I'm bringing it up because I think the sensible thing to do would be seek a meeting with Hope, just sound out the possibilities. We can sort of discuss now, if you want, you know, where such a possible pump track could be, and we have looked at options previously which we can go over, but I think in the first instance it's meeting with Hope. I'm aware that they were involved with creating one at Ilkley, I don't know how recently it was, and that one was like £120,000, so they're not necessarily cheap.
We need to identify some areas, don't we? I know we spoke about this, did we, off Greenfield?
Yeah.
Once when we were looking at the allotments and bits and stuff like that. I think to try and tie it to a park would be a sensible idea.
Okay. Tom?
I mean, the most ideal location if we wanted a downhill pump track would be the slopey area of Letcliffe Park, just below the trig point, viewing point.
Okay. Yeah.
How would it get up there?
It's fair enough.
Cycling.
On that road?
Yeah.
Oh, they know they
I
could.
won't let man kid on it.
Well, if they're going on a pump track, they
Go on
come
bridle,
king,
yeah.
All right, okay, fair enough.
It's a bridle way, although I think it's only a footpath across from King Hill to Letcliffe Park itself.
The bridle way comes up past the farmhouse and out onto the top
Hodge Lane,
of Manchester Road.
yeah, which I think that is about a bit of Manchester Road.
Yeah. But if you're going up to Letcliffe Park on your bike, you'd go up the Ginnell.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you'd go up the wide bit of Manchester Road and then go up the
Steps.
Ginnell.
Up
Yeah, I
steps.
mean, the vans will pay. Anyway, we're only considering options.
I don't
I
think
think
pump
Clough
tracks
Town.
are going on, do they?
I think they like to keep them fairly flat, don't they?
I think pump tracks go around in a circle.
There's some measurement, isn't there, in the elevation and drops and stuff like that, so that...
Well, they end up back at the same level, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're sitting with that.
Okay.
Anyway, it's just
Another option is Clough Park.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think if there's anywhere else. But I mean, I'm thinking of what we've got access to. I mean, you couldn't put it on the town green because that would be against the legalities around the town green. It is for informal recreation, but you're not allowed to, you know, sort of like develop it to any great extent.
Seems to be really popular on folks' websites and stuff like that, don't they?
Yeah.
We need to be mindful that it's probably going to attract a lot of people, potential vehicles and stuff like that, bringing the young kids. The bikes start the minute the kids can use their feet on the ground, don't they, and they go upwards, so
One at Barrowford,
Is it? Yeah, these alert ones really busy, isn't it?
Right, don't get too carried away, look. I mean, 120 grand, it's a lot of money, and I think some of the cycle aficionados in Barley can say, well, why are you looking at pump track when you've got a skate ramp that's full into bits?
I ordered the parts for it, sir.
Yes, but then I'm just anticipating we might get a bit of criticism if we start on a different track.
I'd have ordered it earlier, except it was in the spam.
Yeah.
The quote.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about where one might be?
Is it worth asking Hope about maybe looking into the skate park as well?
I think no, I'm not going to. The Hope are keen to help if it's something that is sort of like, you know, on their wavelength, if you get the drift.
Yeah.
So the pump track is sort of in their territory, isn't it? I think the ramps are probably just a bit off axis as far as they're concerned.
It's about Barnoldswick wrong.
Who's spelled on?
I know.
Oh dear, shocking. We've already proved them and it's off the stand now. In terms of
I was CV reading the
right, so in terms of meeting with Hope, we can try and set up a meeting in, not critical because we've been talking about this for several years now, but given that we have lost the pump track that Hope had, it's probably time to get on with it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. The next one that I've got is the town square. Members will recall that through the UK Shared Prosperity Fund, we were hoping to, still are hoping to do some changes on the town square, and of particular interest for the town council is the creation of a performance area where the centre bed is, and when we last discussed it, it was left at, can we get some designs so we can see what it would look like. Unfortunately, this has all got snarled up, and I don't want to go into the gory detail, but essentially the county council are blocking the work on the highway bits of this, which is quite a significant element, and it's all to do with the county council insisting that Pendle Council use a sector-specific contractor that, like there's only, exaggerating it, but there's only 3 in the whole of the country, and their usual job is like building motorways. So, getting them to come and do a relatively small job in Barley can be as it happens. So the whole thing is at a standstill at the moment. The requirement to actually spend the money before the end of March has been lifted, so we're not going to lose any funding, but it's literally at a standstill. It's on the agenda for the area committee at the beginning of March, when hopefully we might be able to get a bit of movement on it, but at present no design, no prospect. In the meantime, the Bloom Group have been preparing to move the planting out of that centre bed. Most of it would go over onto Fernley Avenue, and there's an Acer, which is the sort of pride and joy, which if it doesn't get moved this season, then it'll have to wait until November at the earliest before it can get shifted. There's a question there, really. I mean, given the uncertainty of the scheme being done in short order, do we want to leave that planting in that back bed, centre bed at the back? But if we unblock the logjam and all of a sudden we've got a contractor that comes, you know, during the summer and wants to get on with it, do we take that risk?
What are the chances?
I don't know. It's an impossible
It's gone out for court.
But I think the other thing is the money will have to be spent by the end of March 2025. So, you know, sort of, if it's left until next winter, then, you know, it's a bit dodgy. So, what do people think? Crack on with moving the plants?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's easier to move them, I suppose, and wait than to move them if they're
Not risky, is it,
coming
then?
next week. But
Yeah. I mean, the downside is we end up with a bed at the back of the square that's, you know, not doing a lot.
It's like it's seasonal planting anyway, or is it all mature stuff?
Well, it's only, you know, it's relatively new. It's only been in a couple of years, some of it. The ace has been in a little bit longer, but
Perhaps move the more critical things like the Easter and leave the rest.
yeah, I mean, that's probably the thing. Well, I don't know. Anyway, general view is that we move the stuff that needs to be moved. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Angela, there's an issue with the traffic lights. This is an environmental
okay.
scheme.
Right.
So, in short, the county council are going to resurface the crossroads at the traffic lights. Not anymore, not down Fernley Avenue and picking up any other rubbish. They're just doing the traffic lights area. There are two issues. First issue is it has been requested of them that they time the work in order not to cripple the local employers, because effectively that's the way in and out down Long Inn and Cronest Industrial Estate. And then the second thing is the town council and others ask the county council to make the swept path better for articulated vehicles, because the number of times that the railings got ripped out. And the other thing with the railings is trying to improve things for wheelchair users, because the railings and the raised bit of pavement in front of the Chinese makes it really difficult for people to get around. The county council has said to me that they have no intention of doing any improvements, they're just going to resurface it. So I've pointed it up with Angela because of the impact on Silent Night and Angela, I don't know whether you've got
No, I
anything
think our guys have previously asked similar to you, David, so he sent it to me. I've been off for a few days, but I'm seeing them tomorrow, so
Okay.
we'll see anything else we can do.
Yeah, so, I mean, from the town council, I mean, we can make representations, you know, on the lines of I've just outlined, really. You know, just trying to get a bit of sense out at the county council. I live in Hope. Yeah.
I'm sure this is what done this before.
They'll just come around.
Joe,
Yeah.
we did ask them. Yeah. Okay. I think that's the end of my list. Is there anything I've forgotten, Joe?
Hopefully.
Are there any other environmental schemes that we wanted to pick up?
Can we just mention one, if we can? Reynolds Road, the footpath outside the hairdressers and that sort of shop that sells sweets and everything, does it? Seems to become the car park for collections and deliveries. Is there anything we can do in that area to stop them driving on there and just parking the cars?
Driving on it?
To drive on it, yeah. It's right on the edge of Raynor Road, where the hairdressers is.
Yeah.
So it's a drop pavement,
Snails.
disabled access, yeah. Well, it's the end one, isn't it?
Not
Used to
Snape.
be
Eden.
No, Eden.
That's the one.
Rachel's called.
But 3 times now we've been sent pictures of vehicles that are parked on there, either collecting, delivering or whatever. They're just using, when it's busy, they're just using the dropped access to come up and just park on there and collect and deliver. The last one that I got was blocking the entrance to the
Right.
hairdressers
I've
completely.
seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Couldn't even get in and out of the shop, which is just ridiculous, isn't it?
Okay.
We can look to get some bollards in.
I think a bollard would be better. I was thinking about benches or planters, but given the amount of attention around that shop, I think if we put benches there, it would just become a place to stop
Benches
people
there?
together. A bit further down.
Yeah, the space behind.
I think,
Yeah.
I think a bollard's probably a better answer, just to bob them in and just to stop the vehicles from getting up and on
No.
that footpath.
Well, the frontage belongs to the property, so if Eden happy to have a bollard, I mean, we could perhaps ask Pendle to put a bollard in.
Yeah.
I know that they've got some spare bollards. Sorry.
Next one.
Surplus and bollards.
Need any anywhere else?
No, let's not do that.
There.
I'm generally, yeah, that's the point, isn't it? Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. Tom?
I mean, personally, I'm not a big believer in hostile architecture, so if they want a bench, they can have a bench as well.
I don't think she
instead
wants
of-
a bench. I think she wants a bench taken out.
I think I'm happy for us to give them the option, is what
Right.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure that a bench would fit. It would be a really odd alignment. Yeah. But quite right, benches are a bit of a hot topic on there. We have the one bench that spans 2 frontages, and one frontager wants a bench taken out and the other frontager wants a bench leaving.
I think we just
So-
shift it over a metre.
I
Well,
don't think that would really alleviate the issue.
that wouldn't anyway. Because I went to see both the frontages and I asked if they could, discuss it with each other and come to a consensus and get back to me. And they've not been back to me. So either there's no consensus or the consensus is, just leave it in. Yeah. Okay, but Mick's proposing that we ask Pendle and the frontager if they could put a bollard in.
I think they'll be happy with the bollard. It just helps. It's easier for the access as well for the drop pavement, isn't it, for the disabled access?
Yeah.
And given its proximity to St Andrews,
Okay.
they're not just the normal chairs that come in and out of there.
Yeah.
So I think rather than a bench or a planter that's too big and causes a bit of a obstruction, a bollard would suffice across, I think. And I know what you're saying, Tom. I don't like seeing just a bollard stuck there. It looks awful, but it's so does vehicles and vans parked there, and
I'm more against the idea that benches attract antisocial behaviour.
They
I
do.
think, but the people who cause the antisocial behaviour, they live in town or they come to town anyway. And I think the fact that they're due to sit somewhere isn't because necessarily the bench. It's just they're in the area and somewhere comfortable. But like the benches on Raynor Road frontage, they've been there 30 odd years. So it's not them causing the behaviour, is it? It's just
Something that's attracted them there in the first place.
Okay.
it's the shops that do that.
Yeah. Right. Let's not get pulled up on benches.
Paint it green, yeah. Could play some classical music there.
chill out a bit.
Show the names of
Or your favourite thing, Tom?
Cat noises.
Oh,
mosquito.
don't even.
Yeah.
Children can hear it, can't the adults can't?
I can hear it.
You can hear
They're
it.
the
Yeah.
most annoying things to ever be invented, and I think we should ban all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we should
Tom has got a very strong ethos about not having hostile environment. So let's not wind him up any because
With Penny Green put flowers
we're
on
good.
it.
Pardon?
With Penny Green put flowers on it, that would be hostile, wouldn't it? There you go.
Sorry, I didn't pick
Paint
that
it green and put flowers on it.
Sure, yarn fairies will make us something to watch.
up. Paint what green?
Just make it look,
Oh, right. Okay.
to make it look
There's
really uncool, then none of them are taking the Snapchat stories there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Can we move on?
Yeah.
Right. So there is perhaps with a little bit of dissent, general agreement then to last for it. I have to say, I have never witnessed a vehicle go on that frontage.
I'm all for, you know, when you get one picture and then people say it's a problem, it isn't. It's a one-off,
okay.
isn't it? But when you get three, it's
Right.
a bit of a trend, and it's three different vehicles. So
When is it happening?
early mornings and at night time.
Oh, if it's after midnight, it's beyond the night.
Yeah, early morning and something like 7, 8 o'clock.
So where are they going?
I think they're different. All three vehicles are from three different that I've got for the pictures that have been sent to me are from. They go to three different businesses, just so that there wasn't saying it's one vehicle going to one business all the time.
Okay, right.
So it's happening too often.
I'd be a little bit concerned if we move the problem to the front, to the entrance to the Reynolds Centre, because the number of times that I've been stuck, you know, for considerable periods of time, going between the several businesses that you're referring to, saying, is that your vehicle down there? Yeah, yeah. The last time it was a really nice, sorry Tom, it was a really nice pickup. You know, I mean, you know, the bee's knees. I went down to Clare and there was somebody stood outside it that I knew. And I said, I'm going around. I said, trying to find the owner of that vehicle. Oh, he said, it's mine. Anyway, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
Anything further on environmental schemes? No? Going?
Or just confirm that massive tree on Greenfield's gone. It's
Yeah.
like in the middle of the road between Greenfield Lane and the lane that we own. It was huge, it was completely dead. But you'll see it on next month's
Bill.
finance list.
We were required to remove it.
It was dead.
We would have left it in place, but it was next to the road and the track, and we were told it had to go. It was a rich habitat, which is the shame. But
Is the trunk being left in situ?
I haven't been
No.
on
Right down.
they've removed it. To be honest, Tom, it was completely wrong. It could have been laid down on the strip that we've got in between, but
They wouldn't leave it, said it was part of the price of the job.
yeah,
Mm.
okay, they wanted the wood. Right, events programme 2024. We discussed the events programme at the last meeting, and I don't think there's necessarily
Dates. Kite Festival will be the 20th of July and Picnic in the Park will be the 14th of September.
you know. Now, Christmas markets, or Christmas market, which we had as a 2-day event, which was quite traumatic because we had one of those storms, and you know, sort of like, we had our meeting shortly after that. It was on the 13th, and Joe and I were saying, whoa, yeah, we've had enough, we don't want another one like that. But in publishing our list of events, Joe left that one off. And I said,
I'm
well,
traumatised.
and I said committee sort of did include it, so we should have it. However, the key thing is said in conjunction with the Santa Fun Run, we don't know if the Santa Fun Run will be taking place. So I think the key to that one is perhaps ask Rotary if they're intending doing Santa Fun Run again. It might have been so traumatic for them that they don't want to do it. But I don't think there's any discussion that we need to take on that list. When we get into exactly 2025, the 3 winter events which are supported through UK Shared Prosperity or Shared Poverty Fund, we do have some ideas that we want to kick around with them. We have the Iceland Fire, which is a really well attended event, and this year we did the Wizard Trail as part of that, and the Wizard Trail rivaled the ice sculptures in terms of popularity and people participating. So the thoughts that we've had is the Wizard Week or Wizard Weekend or Wizarding World, or whatever we called it, with the week was it stands up on its own, and we've struggled a bit with the Arts and Crafts Festival. We've not really found a hook that draws people in, and although willow weaving I think will be actually a smash, if we tried to sell willow weaving as why would you come to Barnoldswick on Saturday, I suspect most people would roll their eyes and think, well, why would we want to see paint drying? I'm convinced that the guy that we've got doing this will make it really entertaining, and it'll be quite a knockout. However, in general, we've struggled, and Joe and I's thoughts are that next year we do, instead of doing Love Barnoldswick Arts and Crafts, we have Wizarding World in Barnoldswick, and flip it, and make 300 more wizarding.
No, we'd have to do more because I got told I should cater for every child in Barnoldswick.
Yeah, right. So.
And at this point, the person standing in front of the person complaining was from Windermere. And they've come especially for it.
Yeah, so we think the wizard stuff is the hook, and that would make to change the nature of the event, and we have sounded out the people who monitor whether we're doing everything in accordance with Rishi Sunak's requests. Rishi, we've got all your labels, they're all on the roadside boards, got levelling up, funded by UK government, yeah, got all that up, yeah. So, so what do people think? I mean, is committee supportive of that?
It was a hit. The Wizarding World was a hit, whereas the February one is usually a bit.
Child-centric, is it then? That's why. That's your hook with all the rest of it. Other than like the Christmas one, it's not centred around children.
We were very lucky with the weather at first.
We were.
I mean, either side of it was, the weather was awful. We just got really lucky on that day.
Says John, who was inside all the time.
Amazing photos. They are perfect.
Yeah. What do people think?
I agree with Joe, it's the children, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You get the children, you get the grown-ups, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. If of course we have a smash it with Gordon Banks and his willow weaving at the weekend, we'll be torn. But for planning purposes, we look at just pivoting a bit. Yeah. Okay.
And we drop the clothes.
Or we make capes.
No.
Invisible capes.
It's second year, they've got to bring the clothes back.
Yeah. So the thinking is that all the apprentice wizards who this time next year will be in their second year at the Barnoldswick School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, have to come up in school uniform, and there's a new year to be inducted. Yeah?
So they thought it big was going to find it can. Right?
Okay.
So top of the stairs.
Right. Very good.
Second step bottoms.
It's at this point that I think we formally record our thanks to everybody that helped make that event a success. We had a huge, well, not huge, we had a lot of volunteers who helped put everything together. We had Silent Night and we had Phil Trox who sponsored sculptures for the ice trail, for which we're very grateful. And Hope Tech supported us with making all the little labels that say it's funded by UK government and levelling up. So Hope pulled out all the stops to make those happen. And we had all the venues that helped. You know, it was really good sort of engagement with lots and lots and lots of different people. Several of whom are sat around this table. We've got Albus Dumbledore over there. We've got the station master who's didn't ever get a name, did he? No.
Did you want that?
Do you want a name? Okay. John.
Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a cracking event.
And the chairman, Alison Moody.
Well, they are mad eye. Can't do it. Right. Yeah. I mean, the costumes did go down well, so I think really we should sort of ensure that it's a requirement of being a town council that you turn up in costume.
All the best.
So my costume was so hideous. I wrote it down to Mr. Wick that it wasn't part of my job description to wear a hideous pink outfit. It was horrific. It was a flowery dress.
We're supposed to have you as Professor Umbridge.
I don't know.
No, it was Sue.
Alright, well, whatever. And the other one would have been like, hey, offer. I was like, I am not going on.
Whether weren't that good.
Do we want to get something out, some public states returning then and keep your uniform?
I think the stars we should do it again. Because I do think the kids honestly were like, do I get to keep this? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other reason to thank Silent Night is because...
Yeah, but I did think we used to.
Yeah. But,
I'm thinking we could make the ballroom like Hogwarts and have long tables and have it dark and have...
Yeah, let's not get carried away, Joe.
I wouldn't that way.
Flying candles, lighting coming from the
Well, we... The best venue for the hall in the Barnoldswick School of Witchcraft and Wizardry is the Rail Centre.
But it's not as big.
But it's got
grand
ceiling. But we can make the roof. We can actually make the roof become the sky.
Can you?
You will.
Yeah,
we
we
can.
up there.
Yeah.
Puff like clouds.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Light
probably do want
candles
to
on.
wouldn't you, for that?
I think you should.
No, it's alright. Just
People who've actually watched it, because that one.
you put us two in a room and we sort of like, within 3 minutes we've created a...
Yeah,
You can do it then,
Right.
not now.
Oh, come
So,
on. Are we getting carried away now? Yeah.
There you go, that one thought across anyway.
Okay.
That's the one making spiders.
Yeah.
I've been in all there.
Right. So, in terms of the calendar, we need to add the 3 on. So we've got Ice and Fire, Wizarding World, and Barnoldswick in Wonderland. Which are the dates in the new calendar year?
I think they're the last Saturday in each month.
Yeah, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I actually have more space between two.
Okay. Are there any other issues in terms of events? Emma?
Do it
Thoughts?
Issues? No issues.
Everything's swimming.
We've got lots of bands soon, though.
Everything's
We've got the
swimming.
stage booked.
And not Emma's pigeon.
No, we haven't.
No.
Got nearly 100 bands of play.
Wow.
Okay.
Just busy getting through those.
So we're changing from a 4-day to a 4-week.
4 week, yeah.
Right. Good luck with sorting them out now.
What was that, full week festival you're saying?
Yeah, 4 weeks.
With tents.
Tents around as
Yeah,
well.
you're camping on Town Green.
Yeah. No.
All the way down to Victory Park.
Yeah, you're going to walk all the way down there and camp. The event's staying on the town square though.
We could do some glamping at Letcliffe.
Okay.
Get up there. Can you imagine?
Right.
A long way to go.
People will be listening to this, quoting this, firing into us for
Any
all
tents,
these
let us
ideas.
know.
Right. The stage does remain an issue. You recall last year we were very with great difficulty because Beyonce bounced our stage and
It's not so glamorous this year, is it? It's not Beyonce bouncing it.
no, sorry.
Catastrophizing it.
It's David Carter.
Okay. Right, we're going to leave Barnoldswick Square then. All right. Joe was asking, which uniquely deflected, whether we were going to have a box meeting at some point. So we perhaps need to think about it.
Yeah, I have said, but small meeting.
Yeah?
You'll let me know when.
Okay. All right. And the second part of this is to consider a request from the town crier to hold a competition on Saturday the 29th of June.
Our alternative date was the Saturday that the stage or marquee would have gone in, so I said it has to, if it's going to be, it has to be this one.
Okay, so for those councillors who aren't aware, looking at Angela, we have a town crier, and she gets a small allowance which covers her expenses, and out of that allowance she tries to organise a competition, if not every year, every other year perhaps.
Yeah.
So we generally leave her to it and nominate some councillors to judge the event. It usually consists of the chairman of the town council. Yeah.
I think that's called voluntold. I've also seen she's signed up for there's some kind of proclamation for DD8 on 6th of June. I was looking through some stuff online, there's a whole town prize thing on there, and it lists all the towns participating in under Lancashire. Barnoldswick's on there, so she's signed herself up for that.
Okay.
So that's on Thursday, 6th of June.
Right. Which brings me to another town crier related issue. Are we agreed that she can do the event on the 29th? Yeah?
Yeah.
I've been on the square on a couple of occasions. She does a monthly cry on the first, at 11 o'clock on the first Saturday of the month. But we've not promoted this for several years, and there's generally a chap called Jim and me that goes to listen to her specifically, and then the only other people are the folk, you know, who were there shopping or Saturday coffee or whatever. I had a brief conversation with Eliza to see whether she was willing to vary that. It struck me that if she'd have come the previous week, that she could have been in the programme for the Ice and Fire Festival. So, you know, she'd have done the 5 minutes, and you might think, well, what, you know, but at least she'd have had a crowd, and, you know, it had been something. So she could come to the 23rd of March event for you know, which is all about performance and theatre and things like that. And of course,
Good idea if she's up for it.
yeah, and of course you could come to Barnoldswick Square.
Yeah, good.
So,
See if you could take the
yeah, I think the general thing is,
distracted sound.
would we like, do we want to ask her
Sound check.
to move away from, you know, first Saturday of the month, and we give her a list and we say we'd like you to come to this, this, this and this. Yeah?
Yeah.
Ask her.
We can only ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, very good, thank you. Item 7, which was Valley Garden Management Plan, is withdrawn from the agenda because the version that we sent was the old one. So apologies to everybody that spent time digesting it, but unfortunately we haven't got the right one. And
Like that wasn't my fault.
Phil Riley has is on holiday, so
Robin, you have to the 30th.
yeah. Okay. So that brings us to the end of the meeting. Tom, can I ask, are there any questions on the chat?
Not that I can see, Chair.
Okay. Right. Can I thank everybody very much for coming along with loving wishes to everybody on Valentine's Day. I declare the meeting closed.